Hello, well, welcome. It's 11 o'clock here live. This is our health aware plant-based cooking class. My name is Melissa. I'm Health Aware's registered dietitian and personal trainer. Before we get started, I am going to put today's 2 recipes into the comments of this video. I have a chair with me today too. I'm going to put those in right now before we get started so that you could have the recipes available to you right at your fingertips. Or you can also email me and I will send you the recipes. My email is mdavidson@cmhshealth.org. But for now, let me pop these into the comment section. So I think that was our first one I got up. I like to do this just so you don't have to search around and wonder where the recipes are. All right, I think I got them both in there now, so we should be good to go. All right, as I said, my name is Melissa. Welcome again if you're watching live or if you're watching the recorded version later on. I am feeling slightly under the weather today, so bear with me. I think we'll be all right to get through. But that's why I have a chair, just in case I get tired. Need to sit down. All right, so we have 2 recipes today. These are great for this time of year. It's been very hot in Ventura the last couple weeks, so no oven is needed for these recipes, which is great. The only thing that requires any form of heat, fire, is the pasta in the next recipe, but that's it. Everything else, these are all cold preparations, which is so nice this time of year. I wore my vegetable apron to kind of go along with our theme today. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section of this video. I should be able to see those. Love to have any feedback, any questions that you have, either live or in the recorded version. I can see all of those. Our first recipe we're starting with today is our vegan black bean and corn salad. So I've got all of our ingredients here ready to go. So let's do it. I've got a few notes too to tell you about as we go through this recipe. So we're starting with a large bowl with, I'm using glass so you can hopefully kind of see it a little bit. And we're starting with our black beans, 2 cans. This recipe makes about 12 servings. You could cut this in half and do a smaller batch of it. I've done it that way too. It works just fine. So I've got 2 cans. These are the 15 ounce. I think these are technically 15.5. 15 ounce, just the regular cans of black beans. I have already rinsed and drained these. So putting both right into the bowl. Oh my goodness. I just flung black beans everywhere. All right, all those back into the bowl. I think there's one on the floor too. We won't use that one. Black beans in. All right, next we are doing corn. So I've got yellow corn, and this needs to be, of course, thawed. You can use fresh or frozen. I don't have the patience or the time to use fresh corn, so I am using frozen. And it does need to be thawed or defrosted, of course. I've done it in a few different methods, so you can put it into a pot on the stove and boil it with a little bit of water just until it's thawed, just for a minute or 2. That's more of an involved way. You can also just put it in a bowl like this, put some water in and microwave it for a minute, and that'll get it warm enough to kind of melt all the ice off, okay? Or a super easy method that I used actually for this corn, I put it in a mesh sieve and just ran it under hot water just for a minute and then just set it off to the side, and it looks just like defrosted corn. So this is 2 cups of corn going into our bowl. I'm gonna use my fingers since I'm not feeding any of you. All right, 2 cups in. And then next we're doing our cherry tomatoes. I think technically these are like grape tomatoes maybe. And as I have in the recipe, you can do halves, okay? Or you can do in quarters if you want the size to be a little bit closer to the size of the corn or the black bean. Halved is fine, quarters is fine as well, your choice. I didn't have the patience to cut them into quarters. So throw those guys in. And if you have small tomatoes, it doesn't really matter that much anyways. Halves are fine. Then we're doing 2 cups of chopped red bell pepper. This is the equivalent of about 2, it's 2 peppers. And actually I am using orange and red just because it's pretty that way. Orange and red, 2 cups right in there. Oh my goodness, my bowl is almost too small, I'm realizing. And then, I definitely just spilled lime juice all into my container. We'll get there in a minute. The next ingredient is our cilantro. So I've already cut it all up, sort of chopped it together. About a cup. It's loosely packed, so it doesn't have to be a firmly packed cup, okay? That's a lot of cilantro. So putting that right on top of all of our other ingredients. There we go. Okay, now if you want, optional, you could do a cup of chopped red onion. I don't like onion, so I don't add it to this. I fed my husband and brother-in-law salad just like this without the onion, and it was totally fine. So up to you if you like red onion. I don't like it, so we're gonna pretend to put it in here if you want. So we've got all of this, and now we're going to do our dressing, which half of it I just spilled into our container. Okay, so our dressing, making a mess. Our dressing actually for this salad and the next salad recipe we're making are very similar, but with just slight variations that make them go well with the salad components. I totally made a mess. It's so embarrassing. Okay. You can't see it though, so that's good. All right, so for the dressing recipe, we're making our own, of course. We're doing a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice. So that's part of a 1/4 of a cup. And then the rest of it is in my pan. Yeah, I made a total mess. Thank goodness I had the pan though. All right, so there's our 1/4 cup of lime juice. I just squeezed that fresh a few minutes ago, so you didn't have to watch me doing that. And next we're doing extra virgin olive oil. This is the brand that I typically use, Trader Joe's Organic Extra Virgin. Make sure that it is the extra virgin olive oil. That's really the good stuff for us. I think someone made a comment. This is one of my, oh yes, one of my favorites. Yes, you maybe made that comment a while ago, but I love this type of recipe too. I remember eating something like this as a child, and I thought, oh my goodness, that'd be an amazing recipe for today. So we're doing the extra virgin olive oil, 2 tablespoons of this one. You could use a different oil if you wanted. I would really only recommend this or avocado oil. Those are nice for this type of salad. This has just a little bit more flavor to it though, and those are really the 2 healthy kind of oils that we have. I wouldn't recommend using canola or vegetable oil or coconut oil. That would taste terrible. Extra virgin olive oil is great for cold salads. So we're doing 2 tablespoons of this. Hopefully I don't spill this one everywhere. This would be a lot harder to clean up. Careful. 2 tablespoons of that one. I'm even gonna put the lid back on. And then we're also doing 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. This is just the Trader Joe's brand of apple cider vinegar. Doesn't really matter, you can get it from wherever. I do like to shake it before I use it because some of the sediment settles into the bottom of this kind of vinegar. So 2 tablespoons of this. Don't stick your nose right over this while you're doing. Sometimes it's really, really strong. Put the lid back on that guy. Get rid of my measuring spoon. And then we're doing the dry part. So we've got chili powder right here. Chili powder, just regular old chili powder. I think this is the Safeway or the Vons brand chili powder. So we're doing a full teaspoon, and this gives it just a little bit of a spice. It's not like a spicy salad, but it gives it just a tiny hint of spice. And then we're doing ground cumin. I just have the Trader Joe's version of that one as well. We're doing a teaspoon of that one also. I love cumin, by the way, one of my favorites. So that goes into our dressing mixture as well. And then we're doing salt, of course. I'm doing a half teaspoon of salt. The beans that I use are decently low in sodium, and we rinse them, so there's not a lot of salt going on in here. You want to make sure that you do rinse the beans, or else this could be crazy salty, okay? Half teaspoon of that going in. I just use a fork, give it a little whisk. You want to make sure that you get all the spices incorporated and start getting the oil emulsified just a tiny, tiny bit. Okie dokes. Set that to the side. There we go. All right, and then we just add it to our salad. Right over the top. I really like making my own salad dressings for this sort of thing, for any sort of thing really, because you have much more control over the sodium, sugar, all that sort of stuff that goes into dressings. And we're gonna just give this a nice stir, gentle toss. Try not to break up any of the tomatoes or anything. We wanna make sure that the dressing is covering every piece and that everything is equally distributed, of course. Very gentle. I'm sure that many of you have made salads like this, but I think the dressing, making it on your own, is very nice to do. All right. And that is our salad. Let me show you. This is what our salad looks like. Beautiful, colorful, lots of good nutrition in it. So lots of healthy carbs. We've got some healthy fats. And when you're serving, slice up an avocado. I'm not gonna do it today just because I'm not gonna eat a whole avocado right now by myself. I don't want it to go brown. But when you're ready to serve, slice up, cube an avocado, or two, depending on how much you want. Sprinkle it on top, and it makes it even better. Just that little bit of creaminess is wonderful. So lots of healthy carbs, healthy protein, tons of fiber, lots of good vegetables in that one salad. All right, we'll set that guy off to the side, and we're ready to make our second recipe. Some of these same things are staying, so I will leave them out, and let's swap out this. All right, so our next recipe, we are making a vegan rainbow pasta salad. Lots of good veggies. I'm gonna try not to spill anything this time. Alrighty. Good. I need this. Okay, here we go. Switch my ingredients. So, first ingredient on this recipe is, of course, the pasta. I already went ahead and cooked it for us because that would have been super boring to sit here and watch a pot boil. Okay, so this is whole wheat fusilli pasta. I was going to show you, this is the package. This is the one that I used. This is the Trader Joe's brand of organic whole wheat fusilli pasta. You can use whatever shape you like. Sometimes I do bow ties, I like the bow ties, penne, whatever you like. And also you notice in the notes, you can try different types of pasta. So actually the last time I made this recipe, I used a brown rice pasta, like the same shape, but I used a brown rice version of it, so it was gluten-free. Worked great. You can also do one of the more high protein options. So there's a lot of noodles made with garbanzo beans and black beans and lentils, all those versions out there these days. You can use one of those as well. That would work great. Just make sure you cook it to al dente, not past, because we want the pasta to hold its shape. So my pasta spiel is over. First step, we add the pasta into our big bowl, just like that. Okay, then next we're doing garbanzo beans in this salad actually as well. So this is the kind that I always buy. I use canned beans pretty much for everything. It just makes my life a lot easier. I have already rinsed and drained these as well. Whatever bean you have, always recommend rinsing and draining off all of the liquid inside. So these are going to go inside. Here we go. Then we're doing a can of black olives. If you wanted to chop up the olives in halves or something, that's totally fine. I always grew up having whole olives in our salad, in our pasta salad, and that's just the way I make it because I'm lazy. Don't tell anyone I said that. Black olives, I think I have in the ingredients a 15-ounce can. It's just the regular size can. Technically, I think this says 6 ounces on it because it's drained weight. Just a regular can of olives into the pasta salad. If you really like olives, like my husband does, you could add more. He can eat the whole can in one sitting. So your choice. You are welcome to add more. Next, we're doing our cherry tomatoes. I did cut these ones in half as well. I think that half is a good size for these. We're trying to get all of our pieces similar in size, and so quartered is just too small, I feel. If you really had tiny tomatoes, you could leave them whole, just like the olives. I always cut up my tomatoes because I barely like tomatoes and I really, really dislike whole tomatoes. It reminds me, just biting into a whole cherry tomato, it's like an eyeball popping in your mouth. Ugh, creeps me out. So I always cut up my tomatoes. Now that I've said that, you will always think of that when you eat tomatoes. So I apologize for that. Next ingredient we're using is orange bell pepper. I cut these about similar size, okay, as the half of the tomatoes would be. This is orange. You can use whatever color you like, yellow, red, or orange. Totally up to you. Add those in. These just are a different color, so it adds more of that rainbow coloring that we're trying to do. Next, we're going to add in some chopped up zucchini. So it's about the same size as the bell pepper that I cut up. Broccoli also goes really nicely in a salad like this. I think I actually may prefer broccoli, but it is a little bit messier, and this looks, it looks a little cleaner in the recipe. So using zucchini. Now you could use more vegetables in this if you wanted to, totally up to you. I do like a very vegetable-y pasta salad, so you could add more, totally fine. And then our last ingredient that I'm adding is the parsley. I've got some chopped up parsley, sort of finely, not super, super fine mince or anything. Add that in, 1/4 cup goes in there. And again, the optional ingredient would be the red, purple, I guess they are. Add the chopped red onion, and that would give it even more of that rainbow look. Again, I don't like onion, so we're not adding it into this, okay? All right, we've got all this ready to go. Now we're going to make our dressing. As I said before, it's similar to the dressing that we already made for our black bean and corn salad, just with a couple differences. All right, so we're starting this time with a little bit more of the apple cider vinegar. We're doing a full 1/4 cup of this one. So this is certainly more than we use in our other salad. Nice and tangy. But pasta is very bland on its own. So we need to have kind of a nice zesty dressing, and then it gets muted out a little bit with the pasta. So don't worry. Then we're doing another 1/4 cup of our extra virgin olive oil, same oil I used for our other recipe. If you like a more wet salad, I guess I would say, a more dressed salad, you could add more of one of these ingredients, the lime, the apple cider vinegar, or the oil, just a tiny bit more if you wanted, because this is not an overly dressed salad, okay? For me, it's fine. For my husband, he wanted a little bit more, okay? But be careful adding too much more of the oil, because that will add lots more calories and fat if you add too much, okay? Then next we're adding in 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. I also squeezed those lemons earlier, so you didn't have to wait and watch me do that. And then we have dried oregano. That's what we're using now. And if you remember, we used lime juice for the other salad, lemon juice for this salad. Okay. 1 teaspoon of our oregano into our dressing mixture. It doesn't matter if you're super exact, it's okay. And then of course, salt. We're doing just a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in this one as well. When I cooked my pasta, I did not salt the water, okay? I usually don't do that when I make pasta. I didn't do it with this because we already have salt going in for the dressing, so I wouldn't recommend salting your pasta, okay? Especially if you're trying to watch your sodium. It's not necessary. We've got plenty of salt here in the dressing. So just give this a whisk like we did for our other dressing, trying to get all of the dry ingredients mixed in with the wet, and emulsify the oil just the tiniest bit. Okay, looks kind of like Italian salad dressing. And we pour that right on over without trying to drop it. There we go. All of it goes into our salad. And again, like I said, if you like a more heavily dressed salad, you could add a little bit more of any of the liquids into this. And now, gently toss. Try not to break up all the noodles. That's the hardest part. Just gently toss to get everything coated, all of the ingredients equally distributed. Keep going, keep going. So these are great for bringing to work, if any of you are going to work at this time. Great for work lunches, it packs well. Great for, I think it was Molly that mentioned, for barbecues. Great for summertime because they are nice and cold if you want them to be. You can refrigerate these for an hour or so to get them cooled down. Right now these are both at room temperature, which for me is fine with me and my sensitive teeth. All right, we're all mixed up. And this makes quite a lot of pasta salad. This is what we have for our finished product. So everything is nicely coated. All of the vegetable pieces within are about the same size. That's what we're going for, not too small. You want to be able to get them with your fork, just like you can the pasta. And there you have it. Any questions? Let me know in the comments. If you have any feedback, I'd love to know. These 2 recipes were decently simple today, which sometimes is just really nice. I have made these many times within the last month and fed them to a couple different people, and they have all gone over very well. I don't know if I have a favorite between. I really like beans and corn, so I think this one is probably my favorite, the black bean and corn salad. But I think my husband likes both pretty equally. Let me know if you have any recommendations for recipes you'd like to see next month, any feedback at all. And other than that, I look forward to seeing you next month for our next cooking class. And I will see you also tomorrow at 9 a.m. for our exercise class, our strength training class. Thank you all for watching live and recorded, and I will see you next time.